So we've just come out the King Power again, and as usual, going to the King Power, we've been out foxed once again. I think we've won once out of 26 away days at Leicester. We haven't won since we've been in the Premier League. That's 6, but we have scored a goal today, and that's progress, I suppose. Gaff, it's finished 2-1. How are you feeling about that when you're coming out of the game now?
Well, I really enjoyed the first half until he gave away that stupid penalty. And I thought we played some really good stuff. In fact, probably the best I've seen them play for ages. But second half, they obviously changed the shape and we couldn't cope with it. And once Costa went off, we just got no threat.
Holding the ball up. Balak, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'd echo what Gaff was saying, really. I don't know about a game of two halves. It was a game of two parts. Like, the part of the game up until when Sarr gave away that penalty, they were on the ropes. You know, if we get a second goal there, they were... But giving them the penalty, you know, when they hadn't had any kind of input into the game, just gave them that bit of impetus, and then, you know, from there, we didn't look at the same team.
Absolutely. Paul, I mean, you always say how you see it. You've got a few thoughts on how you saw that. What do you have to say about it?
I really enjoyed watching us play in the first half. The players were combining really well, some really good give and goes, quite dynamic. Midfielders breaking forward. We looked threatening and we were completely in control of the game. So there are some positives to take despite the defeat. But that penalty decision, which looks like the correct decision and a bad decision by our goalkeeper, has changed the whole complexion of the game. And what I'm disappointed about the most is that we haven't preyed on their precarious position. A bit like Southampton last night against Arsenal, they played on the fact that there was so much at stake for Arsenal, and I don't think we had a chance to put them to the sword today, and we didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, the story of the game, I mean, you know, Leicester, first home game for Dean Smith, they're going to come out firing with a lot of high energy. I thought the first 10 minutes you expected that, they were on the front foot, the crowd were really up for it, you know. And then Wolves got into the game. It was Leicester made a mistake. I thought the intensity from Wolves in the first sort of like 35 minutes was really good, and we forced a mistake. We made a good decision, and Kuna, it was a great finish. After that, I don't think Leicester got out their half for probably the next 20 minutes. It was literally Wolves were winning the ball back. We were so dominant. But I turned to the producer and I said, you know, we've got to score again whilst we've got this dominance, and we didn't. They won the ball. They looked for the ball over the top for Vardy. He's got the pace. He always seems to have some sort of impact on the game. And, he's made the run, and Jose Sarr seems to go, then he doesn't go, then he goes. Indecision, as we saw against Forest as well for their goal. He brings Vardy down. It's a penalty. The guy stepped up, he's put it in, and that's changed the complexion and the momentum of the game. Leicester then finished the game stronger. So at half time, you probably think on the balance of play and chances, you know, with them starting well and finishing well, and us having the middle set, probably 1-1's about fair. Second half, I think Lemina's come off with a dead leg. Neves has come on. There's a few changes. We didn't look so fluid, did we?
No, absolutely not. No, I don't know. How about when Sarr tried to take on their centre forward in the penalty area in the first 3 minutes of the second half? He could have easily robbed him and scored again, couldn't he?
Well, he could. I mean, and we know he's got a rick in. He did make a few good saves, but we know that Sarr's got it in. I mean, the Leicester second goal, it's a good goal. You know, they've won the ball. They played a 1-2. They've pulled it back, and the guys there.
Right back, was it? He scored. Right back.
Yeah, he just puts it in.
The problem is, Dave, that probably should have been the equaliser.
Yeah.
You know, if they come into the game. But I mean, we're all kind of jumping on Sarr here and saying he's made a mistake, but he has kept us in games at the start. You know, in the season, he saved that penalty against Mitrovic. You know, when we got a point against Fulham early in the season, and there's other saves as well. And unfortunately, as a goalkeeper, when you make a mistake, often it's quite catastrophic in terms of it's a goal or what have you. So I'm not going to be too quick to jump on him today, but I think he'll probably realise that it's cost us.
Big time. It's time to go. Paul, your performance rating and your LEAMORE Windows Man of the Match today?
Be a very different performance rating if it was at half time, because as I said, I really enjoyed watching us play. So overall, I'd probably give it a 6, because I don't think it's our worst display of the season, and the first half performance just probably pushed that number up a little bit. My man of the match is João Gomez, especially in the first half. He was head and shoulders the best player on the pitch. his influence waned a bit in the second half, and I think possibly because Vardy went off injured, they brought Dewsbury Hall on, so that gave them a slight advantage maybe in midfield, 3 against 2. So maybe that was the reason the game changed. So Gomez, man of the match. And just last comment from me, our away form's got to improve. We've won 2 games away from home all season, both under Lopetegui, but we've won 5 out of our last 8 home matches. Our home form probably should be enough to keep us up, but moving forwards, our away form has got to improve, and if you can't win, don't get beat.
Absolutely. Same to your performance rating and your LEAMORE Windows man of the match?
Pretty much what Paul said, you know, at half time you'd probably give him 8, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But the second half, probably a 4 or a 5, so probably 6 overall. And same as Paul, Joe Gomez, a class act, and he's going to be a great player for Wolves.
Brilliant. Balak?
I can't really add anything to what Gaffer's just said. You know, Gomez was definitely the standout player. I think he's got such a bright future at Wolves. I'm so glad that we, you know, managed to get him, you know, in January, because for a player at 19, he's got so much potential. And yeah, I'd agree. You know, before Saga's penalty away, we looked like a 7.5, 8, and then afterwards we looked like a 4.5, 5. So probably about a 6. You know, it's bang average, really, to be honest.
Guess what? I can't believe it. It's a full house. What is it? A full house? I'm going to go a flush. I'm going to give it a 6. The same. I'm going to go with Joe Gomez, the same, because I thought he looks an absolute player for his age. He's so mature. He not only tackles, but he tackles and wins the ball and comes away with it. So he's really going to be massively important. We are not safe. We have to say that. We've got 34 points. The results kind of went our way. Another one ticked off. We've still got to get that extra win. Hopefully we can do that against Palace, who are pretty much safe now. We've got to basically play with the intensity we did for 20-25 minutes today, the whole way through at home. But we are not safe yet. We've still got to get that win, and we don't want to get dragged back in again. So we need, because we've got a tough few final games. Obviously the Leicester fans, you know, meant so much to them today. They're celebrating like they've won the FA Cup, the World Cup, the League Cup and everything against Wolves today, and that's fair enough, because it's been tough. We understand as Wolves fans how tough it's been, and it's a big win for them. And if there's one team I do want to stop up next year, I do want, even though we never win anything, I hope Leicester do stay up, because it's another Midlands team, and we don't have enough Midlands. We have a lot of London and long trips, so coming over to the King Power, you know, and hopefully next year you won't mind us getting the 3 points for a change. Any final words from any of you guys?
Does that mean you want Forest to stay up then?
I'm not so sure about that. Don't push it. Anyway, from all of us, from myself, Gas, Balak, and Paul, always Wolves. Sorry for